everyone. Welcome to Nifty BankNifty live analysis. So yesterday we had clearly understood the most important structure and the zone of support for Nifty, where 17, 300, 350 was very important as a support from option data point of view. And we saw that Nifty did go up, came back down, and we had suggested that even if it comes back down, we will not go for sell because you will see a sharp reversal from this zone or so. So we look for buy trades, and generally when the fall comes and goes sideways, you have these big green candles. That's when you can enter. And same thing over here, when you have the green candle coming across the consolidation phase, we can basically took a buy trade with a smaller stop loss for an up zone over here. Now, exactly where we were very clear about 17,500 becoming a good resistance. So it did go up, down, and got kind of closed around this zone, which is 17,500 itself. Now, today morning also, if you actually see, for swing on the upside, we were very clear that it has to sustain above 17,500. And morning it did open gap up, comes back down, goes up, but there is a lot of selling pressure because of the red dots, which we can see clearly over here. Again, we see the price is coming back down. The most important part over here, when it comes back down, it does not go below day low or yesterday's low. So this acts like strong resistance support, and it starts pushing itself higher. So this is very important, that yes, good support has been made for Nifty for trying to push itself on the higher side, where selling pressure is there. Again, he tries to go up, again selling pressure comes in, and he is being pushed on the downward move. So one thing is very clear, that Nifty is now very much structured for an open uptrend, and ideally these are some selling zone, which is 17,600 or so, which is acting small hurdles for Nifty. Now, if I see on a little broader scale, 15-minute or even on hourly time frame, now the most important, as I told you yesterday also, when the sharp fall comes in, there is at least 50% retracement, and it can even now come into the higher zone, which we can now say from technical point of view, it can easily reach into the 17,700 kind of zone very nicely. And if it sustains above this, then only it can go towards 700 to 800. So it is all set for an up move to happen. And even like for the afternoon trade, I would suggest to go buy over here, but with a very strict stop loss, because sometimes what happens when you have huge selling zones, there can be a sharp downside also, which can come through. So be a little careful when you're taking the trade. But yes, I would not be so bullish on Nifty. The reason is that you have a lot of selling pressure over here, and on the upside also we know there is limited upside, but still there are 100 points to go for an up move. So if you want to catch the trade early, I would suggest to enter prior to the breakout. So what happens over there, you are already in the trade with a very small stop loss. So for example, if I try to buy right over here, once it starts making a new high, I enter and keep my stop loss only of like 30 points or 20 points, then it is still valid. So that's the take on Nifty, and let's see how the option data is panning out. And mainly we want to see option data on the higher side, as well as important support has been built on the lower side or not. So 17,700, 800 zone will be important for us, and on the bottom side I want now good support, like how 17,300 we were very clear of good amount of support coming in. Same way I want to also check now for 25th of November out of the money option. If you try to see 17,500, very strong support is there. So this is very good. Now, even if by seeing this, one thing is very clear, even if Nifty cracks down, you will have some kind of good support, but only downside is there if it is below 17,500, which is almost, we can say, morning's low of today. So I do not see it going below that. 600, there's some kind of congestion, but once this is taken out, I see a sharp upside move on Nifty, and the structure wise also we are very clear, yes, it can move on the upside. If I see in the last 2 hours, good support building at 550, 500 is acting like good support, but there is some resistance at 600, but that's okay. Once it is taken out, as I said, can sharply move higher. So yes, structure seems to be very good. It can come back down, but ideally taking a breakout trade for the upside, 100 points is clearly there. Sustaining above 600, it can even fly to 700, 800 zone very easily. So keep an eye on Nifty breakout on the upside with a smaller stop loss. So if I go on a very small scale to understand what's happening over here, sharp downside comes back up, sharp downside comes back up. So any kind of selling has been taken up. So that's very good. He tries to come back up, it takes a rejection and then a quick reversal. So this means a solid breakout is likely to happen from this zone on the higher side. So it might come back again and come back up because of the selling dots which are there around 17,600. But yes, good rally can happen on the upside. Now let's also check Bank Nifty, because I feel that today's Nifty has been sluggish, but if you see Bank Nifty, it's been fantastic, because on the Bank Nifty side, it's already reached to the important zone, which supposedly should have been acted like resistance over here. It has already crossed that zone and trying to inch on the higher side. So this clearly shows that yes, Bank Nifty is all poised to reach into the higher zone of 38,200. So that's very good take on Bank Nifty. The kind of flow Bank Nifty has given today has been phenomenal. So it is giving strength to Nifty as well. So if Bank Nifty has good round of movement, which is there, which can also support now Nifty for a good breakout. Now, if I see on a smaller scale, when the Bank Nifty started out in the morning, it basically went sideways, but we can see many times it has been rejected, comes back up, again rejected, comes back up, rejected, comes back up. So this gives you a solid breakout chances whenever it is rejected and it comes back up. Kind of engulfing structure getting formed, and then the breakout takes place like it is happening right now in Nifty. Those breakouts are very good to take. And now again, it went all the way to the high, came back down, again sustaining, not going down, trying to move on the higher side. So that's very, very good. But if you want to take a buy trade now on Bank Nifty, I would not be of a consensus, because one thing is very clear, that Bank Nifty is does showing a good uptrending move which is there, but you can also have a slight upside move, lesser, and then it can even come back down towards the end of the day. So I won't be bullish on Bank Nifty, though the structure seems to be very, very bullish, because it has already moved so much, and trying to take a trade and the structure is not set for a good breakout. Now here, this was a good structure for breakout right over here, where it came down and came up. So this was good. Even the second smaller breakout was good, but now taking a breakout for the up move, it can happen, but it can become very, very risky. So I would basically try to avoid going for buy trade on Bank Nifty. But one thing is there, if Bank Nifty also slides down, it can give a negative effect to Nifty as well. So not a very clear structure on Bank Nifty as well as Nifty today, but because Nifty has limited upside, so I would basically be a little bit cautious on Nifty as well, though it is giving me a good breakout formation, but we need to be careful. Now market is around 37,800. We need to see good support has been built around 700, 600, 500, means basically around 37,500, because we had seen yesterday also where good support was there. So 37,500, good OI built up is there. So this is a good pointer, and there is no call OI built up which is there. That clearly shows that upside move is open. So if not today also, today, even if it comes back down, tomorrow again we can see sharp rally again in Bank Nifty on the upside. So that is very nice what option data is suggesting. Upside expiry can be a very wild up move can happen, and if you see on 37,800 is very, very important. 37,800, 37,700, where large amount of OI is there. So I feel that good support is there on the downside. So I'm not going to sell also Nifty, because one thing is now very, very certain, that 700, 800 zone, which is basically this zone, has acted like a good support for Bank Nifty. So this will act like a good support for Bank Nifty. So more or less I can say, okay, fine, this is a good zone of support, and I'm not interested to sell Bank Nifty in this zone. So even if I sell anywhere, you can see a sharp reversal coming in, and we can see even today multiple time reversal has happened from this zone. Okay, so not going for a sell trade. But yes, as I said, it has gone up too much. It can give you a small kind of retracement on the downside, which can come. And because of this, you can also have Nifty feeling the pressure and not going up. So that's also very, very important for us to understand. Just see over here, as I said, it was trying to do a good breakout over here, but then comes back, tests, and then again selling comes in. So why is the pressure? The pressure on Nifty is basically due to Bank Nifty, and Bank Nifty has yet not gone down. So if it goes down, I can see Nifty again coming to the lower zone of 17,520, 540 very easily. But going out for a sell on Nifty can be done, but then can be limited downside would be there. So you need to know that good support is there around that 500 region. So I can highlight this one. You know that good support is there around this zone. So if we get a sell structure over here, you can go for a sell trade on the downside, keeping the high as your stop loss, because we are very clear that yes, small downside can come, but taking a risk of upside is little difficult. But if you see both from upside point of view and downside is pretty open, but limited downside, and the risk reward can be decent, not very high or very good, but still a small cheeky trade can be taken. But if you see on the upside, I was a little skeptical because now if you see Bank Nifty is already moved up. So if it doesn't move up and the upside push on Nifty will not come through. And there are a lot of selling pressure which I have seen on Bank Nifty today. So I'm not bullish on Nifty as such. And if Bank Nifty collides, okay, even like 200 points, you can see Nifty coming down very, very sharply, like 50, 60 points can come down very, very fast. Even if it tries to go up, I would not suggest you to go for buy trade in Nifty because Bank Nifty has gone up way too much. So that's where the risk is. Otherwise, if Bank Nifty would have also been on sideline, I would have been positively bullish on Nifty. So I'm not. So let him go upside. So I personally feel I would look to take a small trade on the downside, maybe towards the end of the session where Nifty can maybe make a new high over here somewhere, and then we can take a small downturn trade somewhere over here, keeping our stop loss at the top. So that's it for Nifty and Bank Nifty. Very good slide happening, good amount of up move after the slide of big down slide which came through. At least good recovery is coming in, can basically form a good W format and give us a good base structure for Nifty for a good up move to come in from next week or so. So let's wait and watch how things progress. Let him make a new high, and then you can get a sharp downfall, because here also if you see the room of downside is very, very less. So I want him to go zoom up, make high. Everybody will think that yes, let's go for buy trade, breakout in Nifty is happening, but all of a sudden Bank Nifty will go down and then this will go down. So I would wait for the new high to be made. I'm not interested right now to take a trade. Let him zoom towards the top, and let's say by 130 or so, then him go sideways, let people get into the bus, and then if it gives you any sign of reversal, I will take it by both hands for downside move. Because if it moves up, what happens over here, normally people do not understand. If it goes up, makes a new high, more people go and buy. Okay, and if it doesn't go up and then it starts coming down, you need to understand if it has zoomed up, you can easily get over here, okay, from the top also till here 86 points. That's where I am more interested in. Now, if I sell right now over here, the problem what happens over here, no doubt that it can go down from here also, and if I can miss the trade, but you need to understand it's only 33 points. Okay, now somebody can say no, it will go till here, but we never know. The last stage of stoppage was over here. Now it can extend, and if you say that okay, fine, no, it can go down. Okay, let's see how much down it can go. So it's only 50 points on the downside. But if I go and take a trade when it starts coming down from here, I can see almost 70 to 80 points on the downside. So here I will have surety of getting at least 60 points in my pocket. So that's why I want generally sharp up move, then do not go up, go sideways and then drop. And now I take it a trade, because now the room for downside is more. Right now the room for downside is less, plus you have the support region which is also there. So that's why I generally tend to avoid these kind of trades. I wait out. If it doesn't happen, it's fairly okay. We can again see out tomorrow for fetching a new trade. Thank you very much. That's it from my side. We connect again tomorrow.